Hey everyone. So in today's video, we're talking about text features, what they are, why they're important, and how we are going to be using them. So your goal is to identify the text features and then using those to further your comprehension, or using those to help further your comprehension. And so really quickly, the stuff in yellow is what I want you to write down in the box or under the definition of text features. What are text features? So authors use structural elements to organize information, ideas, and to highlight important parts of the text. And so it's just making note and starting to understand that every single text feature that an author uses, every single word that an author uses, it is intentional. It is always intentional. Am I trying to, and then if you look at this second bullet, which you don't have to write anything down in this second bullet, but as students advance to middle and high school grades, the text that they must read and write become increasingly varied in style. So we're going to start seeing different styles of writing, different vocabulary, different text structures, which you already talked about earlier this week, which are just different ways of organizing the information in text, different purposes, and a different intended audience. All of these go into why an author is writing the text that they are writing. And so once that you start to understand that, readers and writers learn to identify and use a variety of text features, what we're going to look at today, the text features, and then we're going to learn how to use them, or the elements that can make their writing clearer, add visual appeal, and make their writing more accessible. Well, if this can make your writing clearer, and it can make your writing more appealing, and it can make your writing more accessible, it's the same thing for authors that have already written text, right? They are using these things to do all this, but they are also using it to help convey, like, what is the purpose? Like, why did I write this text? The text features will help you identify that, and we'll kind of talk about that in a second. So for example, a title is the name of a literary work. It gives the reader an idea of the topic or main idea. I gotta fix that spacing. Let's do that right now, of what they will be reading. And so the title in itself, right? Looking at a title, that could give you the main idea of the text. A title can literally give you the main idea of a text. Title of publication. I think I gave this one to you. This one's a little bit easier. If you look at this is a title, Narnia, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So right there, as I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I'm like, oh, I wonder if there's a lion in this book. I wonder if there's a witch in this book. I wonder if there's a wardrobe in this book. Why is there a wardrobe? What the heck could a wardrobe have to do with a lion and a witch? But then when you think about like lions and witches, now you're starting to think to yourself, all right, lion, if it's a talking lion, well, there's a witch, so it probably is a talking lion. Is this fantasy? And you start to think deeper into this just based off of the title. Now, I don't know anything. I think I've read the Chronicles of Narnia, at least the first book. This one. But anyway, long story short, we're going to continue talking about stuff like that. But that's what a title can, just the title, I can break down what all that is. I mean, and then looking at this picture, we'll talk in a second about graphics, but you look at all these pictures, I wonder if any of this will be found in the book. This, on the other hand, so you down here is the title, Inside the Great White. That's the title of this particular magazine from April 2000. But when it says National Geographic, that's a title of a publication. So if, a magazine article with a Washington Post, the New York Times, a lot of you have been playing Wordle, that's the title of publication. Okay, here we have headings and subheadings. So heading is a line of text serving to organize and indicate what the passage below is about. It often provides the main idea of a section. So, and then subheadings is an additional headline or title that comes after the main heading. So usually this right here is a title. Okay, she lived on Mars, sort of, and so we're going to read about how she lived on Mars. These are headings. Sometimes below these headings, you might see another heading. So if this says like questions to answer, everyone's favorite question, if that was like another little thing that was like indented a little bit more, that would be a subheading. They're not going to try to trick you on any test or quiz with these two. They're very interchangeable. Just know that they both will help kind of giving you the main idea or like what a particular section is about. So if there's a heading here, then it should tell you what this whole paragraph's about. So if I go in here, it's going to provide probably questions that need to be answered. If I go here, it's going to explain how things are safe and successful. So you can already just start to like summarize the thing just by looking at its heading or looking at its subheading. Hopefully that made sense. But again, we're using these tools, we're using these text features. Keywords are bold, italics, underlined, or color To highlight the text and capture the reader's attention, these features make key information stand out. Okay, so here you have like a bold right there. I don't see any colored writing on this slide. Was there color writing on the last slide? But sometimes you'll see something in color, sometimes you'll see something underlined, sometimes you'll see something italics. And whenever you see it, it draws your mind right to it, and you're immediately like, okay, this is some type of an important word or phrase, or else they wouldn't have bolded it or highlighted it or underlined it or put it in color. They wouldn't have done any of that if they didn't think that it was an important word. So whenever you see that, again, with helping you better understand the text, those words are important words in helping understand the text. So like carcasses or culprit, these bolded words right here, they're bigger words that are going to help you understand what's going on with this mysterious disease. They help you in better understanding this section. Understanding this section helps you in better understanding the entire passage. Graphics are pictures and other images that accompany a piece of text to enhance its meaning for the reader. Examples are illustrations, photographs, maps, charts, and diagrams. I think we have all of those here. We have a map, we have a photograph, we don't have an illustration, and we have a diagram. So a diagram is a drawing intended to explain how something works, a drawing showing the relationship between the parts of the bat. So here we have just all the different relationships to the parts of the bat. Here we have a photograph of a bat. Here we have a map about where white noise syndrome would occur in the United States. Notice there's nothing really going on in the Southwest. So these are all just visual representations to just help you better understand what you've just read about. Like, so if you were reading about bats, seeing a picture of a bat helps you understanding, seeing where it lives, seeing what it does, seeing it diagrammed. All of these are just better helping you understand what's going on. Okay, footnotes. I want to say I gave this one to you. So footnotes just come at the bottom of a page. Notes placed at the bottom of the page, additional information or comments about the text. Super simple, right? Same thing with sidebar. I'm pretty sure I gave you this one as well. Information that is placed alongside a main article that contains additional information, typically boxed. So here you see we were talking about bats right here, and then over here you have a sidebar. And the sidebar, how can you help bats? So like looking over here, this is helping me understand, oh, maybe this is a problem and solution, because if I have to help bats, right, then there's probably a problem in which they need help, and here are ways that I can actually start to help them. So going back to the main article, this sidebar is allowing me to better understand the problem that bats might be facing. Sidebars not necessarily needed to understand the text overall. They just give you a better understanding of certain aspects of the text. An index, I feel like it's been burned into our brains since we were younger, but topics of importance listed in alphabetical order. It lists the page number. I need to put a comma here. And oh no, I don't. Sorry, it's fine. It lists the page number the term is found on. So we have arrow. All of these, you'll notice this is an important part of the text of the book, and then it'll give you the page number of where to find wherever something like that is mentioned. So you have like Apple Corporation, 203, 264, 302 on all three of those pages. This is talked about. Okay, these two I think I did for you as well. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember. No, I did not do these ones for you. So a caption are words underneath or beside or on graphics explaining what it is or what it is about. So underneath, beside, on graphics, underneath or beside on graphics explaining what it is or what it is about. And then a glossary is an alphabetical list of terms with a definition for those terms. It usually appears at the end of a book. So it's like an index, but glossary is not all of the most important words. It's just the ones that are probably the most important. And then they come with definitions. Okay, why is it? All right, so here, that's a caption right there. It's letting you know that this is a picture of Harriet Tubman. If we came back to this diagram of bats, do we have any captions? I don't see captions. Oh, this is a long-eared bat from, I can't read, Cherokee National Forest, Tennessee. So you'll see there, that is a caption as well. All right, it's just letting you know what's going on in that picture. Annotations are things that we are going to do throughout the year. These are written notes that show you are engaged in thinking about the text, usually written on the side of the existing text. It is very important that you do annotations. These are examples of annotations. So like when you looked at this, scientists are trying to grow hardier coral in labs to transplant later. Effects, cause, see through, help. So annotations just are putting your ideas onto a page as you're reading through it, so that way you can reference back to them later on and have a better understanding of what you read, because it takes a bunch of readings to fully understand something. And then here's just kind of an example of all the text features on one page, and that's kind of just what it would look like. I think that's it, right? Yep, that's all we have. All right, everybody. So that is it. After this, complete your mastery check. Have me check the notes, complete your mastery check, and we are ready to move on to practice with text structures and text features next week. As always, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Bye, everyone.